A woman screamed as the sky cracked open. Lightning struck the hillside so close the air turned white. Thunder hit a heartbeat later, shaking the ground like something enormous had stepped on the earth. In the streets, people ran. A market stall flipped over, clay jars shattered. A child cried and disappeared into the crowd. Men raised their hands to the heavens, shouting prayers into the wind as if the gods could be bargained with in real time. Because for thousands of years, that was the rule. When the sky speaks, you answer. Thunder meant anger. Lightning meant punishment. Storms meant the gods were watching. And being watched was terrifying. But on the shoreline of Miletus, as the storm rolled in, one man stood completely still, while everyone else begged the heavens for mercy. He turned his back on the sky. He looked at the sea. His name was Thales. The salt wind cut across his face. Waves slammed into stone and retreated again and again, indifferent to prayer. The ocean moved with a rhythm older than any temple. Thales did not speak to the gods. He asked a question. Not who is angry, not what have we done wrong, but something far more dangerous. What is everything made of? That question was rebellion, because it didn't ask for meaning, it asked for matter. And once a human mind asks that, the old world begins to collapse. For most of human history, the universe had been a story. The sky was alive with personalities. Every disaster was a message. Every illness was judgment. Every drought was divine disappointment. Reality was not understood. It was obeyed. But Greece was different, because Athens had made a choice, not the sword, not the throne, but the mind. In its streets, men argued openly about justice. In its markets, voices clashed like weapons. Power was dragged into daylight and examined. No ruler was sacred, and once people learn they can question rulers, they start questioning gods. They start questioning the world. They start questioning everything. Still, the first spark did not ignite in Athens. It ignited in Miletus, a port city that traded not only goods, but ideas. Ships arrived every day carrying foreign coins, foreign myths, foreign gods. Sailors told stories of storms explained in different ways. Traders spoke of nations that feared different spirits. And slowly, quietly, the most dangerous thought entered the human mind. What if our story isn't the only story? Thales looked at the sea and said the origin of all things was water. He watched rivers carve valleys like scars. He watched rain bring crops back from death. He saw moisture in every living body. To him, water wasn't just part of life. It was life. He was wrong. But what mattered was not that he was wrong. What mattered was that he could be wrong without being struck down. No thunder silenced him. No god shattered the earth. The universe stayed quiet. And that silence was louder than any prayer. After Thales, others rose. Anaximander listened and rejected him. He said the origin was not water, but something infinite and undefined, the boundless source behind all things. Then Anaximenes argued it was air, invisible, everywhere, essential. They contradicted each other, they challenged each other, and no one died. Myth does not allow that. In myth, the gods are always right. But philosophy was being born in the only way it can be born, through disagreement. Soon, men gathered beneath olive trees. They argued in courtyards. They debated in open streets. Their voices grew sharper, colder, more relentless. They weren't praying. They were testing. Truth was no longer inherited. It was hunted. And as it was hunted, the old world began to rot. Because once lightning follows patterns, lightning stops being anger. Once eclipses can be predicted, eclipses stop being warnings. Once illness has causes, illness stops being judgment. And once suffering has no sender, suffering has no meaning. That is the real cost of reason. The old world was terrifying, but it was personal. The gods could be pleased. The gods could be begged. The gods could be blamed. But the new world was colder. It had laws, and laws do not care if you cry. Still, the philosophers pushed forward. They believed the universe had order, and if it had order, it could be studied. For the first time, humans weren't just surviving the world, they were trying to understand it. But the deeper they looked, the more another truth appeared, one that no one wanted. Because even if the universe has order, it never stops moving. The sun rises, the sun falls, bodies age, children grow, cities rise and rot. Everything changes, nothing stays. And then Heraclitus arrived. He didn't search for the substance beneath reality. He searched for the rule beneath reality. He watched a river and said, "You cannot step into the same river twice, because the river is not the same, and you are not the same." Humans crave permanence. We build monuments. We carve laws into stone. We cling to certainty like it can save us. But Heraclitus saw the truth no one wanted. Change is not the exception. Change is the law. Conflict is not chaos. Conflict is the engine. Day exists because of night. Life because of death. Order because of struggle. The first philosophers replaced fear with reason. Heraclitus replaced comfort with truth. Because if everything flows, nothing can be held forever. Not youth, not power, not love, not identity. And once you see that, a deeper question rises from the ashes of myth. How do you live in a world that never stops moving? In the next episode, we step fully into the fire of Heraclitus, where change is not something to resist, but something that will burn through everything you think you are